You're listening to only the best in the world. No, the universe.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Welcome to Salmon Says Podcast, drum lesson number 2. I would be Salmon, your host. How's it going? Very cool. So today we're going to talk about some different types of drumsticks. Notice the Salmon Says merchandise, all right? Salmon Says Media t-shirts. Got the big logo on the back. Stacy, big shout out to you. My cousin made those. The Salmon Says Podcast hats. These are available for purchase. Now this one is a fitted hat. You can get the fitted. I have mesh, or I just have the regular, like polyester with the strap on the back too, whatever you prefer. You can get those as well. Otherwise, you can just order the patch and put it on your apron, your coveralls, your backpack, your pillow, wherever. All right, Salmon Says. So it's all available. Go to my Facebook page. Check it out. Salmon Says Podcast. All right, Salmon Says Media is the Facebook page. Look it up, and the information is on there. Now let's talk drumsticks. Last week we talked about some, just the basic drum techniques. Today we're just gonna talk some sticks. All right, and not the band sticks, which is great, very, by the way. As I mentioned, I like to use 7A. These are very, very thin sticks, okay? 7A, as opposed to, this one is it doesn't really say, everyone's a little bit different, but this one is it's a Pro Mark, all right, which is a good stick. It's American Hickory. It's a TX747N. So you can kind of tell the difference in the thickness of these. This one's a little bit thicker, and this one's a little bit thinner. Also about these, if you'll notice, these have vinyl tips on them. So a lot of times the vinyl tips you want to use for shows or for recording because it's a different sound, When you hit the cymbal, with these, that's what it sounds like, okay? That's just a regular stick. When you hit it with the vinyl, there's a snare with the vinyl, snare without. So you're probably not going to notice right away. When you have headphones on, you'll notice. In recording, pretty much every time, they would use something with some kind of vinyl stick. I'm sure that's what Lars Ulrich used and those guys. Some kind of vinyl tip on their stick, whatever stick they chose. So usually that's the only time I use those is if I'm recording something. And so I don't record a whole lot at home, but that's one type there as well, okay? You've got, now this, you're like, what is that? Is that a turkey baster? No, not a turkey baster. These are called brushes. And these are kind of nice. These are kind of lower end brushes. There's better ones. But you can get, playing like a church gig or, something a little bit quieter, you can do this. You can also put it down a little bit deeper sound. You push these in a little bit, almost like a drumstick, but not quite. And then, see how they sound on the cymbal? That sounds really cool. That's on the right cymbal. There's the crash. It's not loud at all. Kind of muffles the sound. So if you're doing like a coffee shop or you want to... So those are called brushes, all right? Those are different. And there's, like I said, there's different kinds. There's metal ones. These are more of a plastic or vinyl that I've had for years. I don't mind these. I like these. And then some I got a couple years ago. These are the exact opposite. These are not as quiet. These are called... I think they call them thunder rods. Kind of wore off of here, but yeah, thunder rod it says on here. And these are Pro Mark as well. Okay, and so it looks like a bunch of little wooden dowels together. And that's basically what it is. They put it together with this, whatever tape stuff this is. But these are really, but it's still quieter than a drumstick. So you could do coffee shop with these if it's a little louder coffee shop, or you're going to do some kind of like school event or something on stage. You might want to use something like this where you're not just totally blaring people's eardrums and using the loud regular drumsticks. So thunder rods, these are a lot heavier though, is the thing. And so that throwing the light drumstick out of the way, of my 7A, these are obviously a lot thicker and a lot heavier material. The thunder rods are. The cymbal with these, still not bad, but again, they're a lot heavier, so you have to drum a little faster and a little harder to get them to do what you want them to do, like the 7A. So you have to plan your timing out a little bit better, because it's heavier.
Susan's Books and Gifts, so much more than a bookstore. Shop online for a variety of toys, science projects, puzzles, and more. Susan's has over 20,000 used books to choose from, all only $2 each. A store where there actually is something for everyone. Susan'sBooksAndGifts.com. Get something for family, for a friend, for yourself. Bookmark Susan'sBooksAndGifts.com, a sponsor of the Salmon Says podcast.
Welcome back to Salmon Says Podcast. We're talking about drumsticks. We've gone over the regular drumstick, okay, and there's lots of different sizes. Some people use thicker, some people use thin. We've talked about the vinyl tip. A lot of times for shows, recording, it's a little bit different sound. We talked about the brushes. You know, you get different techniques with those, a lot quieter. You can do a lot of jazz stuff you see with those. Talked about the thunder rod, of course. And now, one of the most important drumsticks, the broken drumstick. Yes, folks, this is the 5A. All right, so let's look at I usually use a 7A, and apparently they didn't have them or I bought the wrong ones. It's just a little bit thicker. It's really hard to tell. This one's a little bit thicker than this one. And so the 5A is not a big difference. And I'm not sure how I broke these. Literally, I've been playing drums almost 25 years, and I think I only broke 2 pair of drumsticks ever. I know guys that break, a pair or 2 a night when they play, and I'm like, man, you're just playing way too hard. And I play loud. I don't necessarily play the hardest ever. And I'm not a weakling by any means, but I'm not that hard on drumsticks. Some guys just go through them, and, something like this, a lot of times that's what you just see at a concert. They just throw it in the crowd. Make sure people are paying attention, not projectile wood coming at them, especially with a sharp tip. But yeah, this one's all broke, so I just kind of hold on to it as a souvenir for whatever reason. Hey, this is one of the 2 drumsticks I've ever broken while playing, And this, I think I was just playing at home on this one. I don't think I was even in a show. I've given away some drumsticks over the years at shows, different things like that. So there's a couple different things. There's a gig bag here. Let me grab this. A couple things you can do with your drumsticks as well. As you can tell, I got a lot of drumsticks here. Lots of different ones. But this is called a gig bag, okay? And so you can hook this on your drums on the side. So if you worry about dropping a drumstick, you just pull another one out and keep playing. I do that, like if I'm playing at a show or something, I might hook it on that way, and that way I just don't have to keep worried about it. I just grab another drumstick, keep going, pick up the other one later. Or if you throw one in the crowd, you do break one, grab another one. So I've got lots of different drumsticks in here. Some of these are really, really old that I'm not sure why I hold on to them. This one's kind of cool. Wife got me this one a couple years ago. See, it says Stick with Jesus. I don't know the thickness of this one. I've used it quite a bit. These were Hard Rock Cafe ones that I got from my brother years ago that I've spray painted. They were blue sparkly, which is kind of cool, whatever. This one you can tell has really had its better days. And there's nothing on this one, but it is beat to smithereens. And cymbals will do that. Cymbals will... Drumsticks are not cheap. So this is the gig bag, but you can see it's got little pockets in it. And that's pretty nice for having things. Otherwise, you can have a thing like this. And I don't know the proper name of it, but it clips right on somewhere too, like on a pole. You can clip it on your... Obviously here wouldn't be the best spot because the drums need the stick out of it. But you want to put your drumsticks in there. See, and then you can clip it on to one of your cymbal stands or one of your stands somewhere. One of the legs. I can hook it on the leg of my floor tom here, see? And then if I needed another drumstick, I just reach down and there it is. So that's kind of a condensed version of the other one. You put 2 sticks on this side and 2 sticks on this side. And like I said, I never go through that many drumsticks. But it's nice to have if you drop one occasionally, which happens, or one breaks or whatever. You just reach down, pull out another one, and keeps going, and this just clips right on to the drum. So that's kind of some stuff there. So if you're looking for drums, that's it. For that, egg shakers are always nice to have. These have such a great sound. You can use them for bongos. You can use them for drums. In the studio, these work really good. You're just easy, shaking. You can usually come in a pack of 2. Egg shakers are very inexpensive. I think this bongo was like $30. So you can get some. Cajones are really cool. I want to buy a cajon. That's one of those wooden boxes you sit on, and you have to beat it like this. I've never actually played one, but I want to sit down and play it. And I think it's probably a lot like a drum set. You're just sitting on top of it. And see with the bongo here, it's important to get one with the bottom. And you don't want to muffle up the sound. A lot of people have... Years ago, my friend had a djembe one, and I had to make sure that I had it off the ground at least about that far so the sound got out, because the sound travels out the bottom of this. If you just hit it like this, you're not going to hear much. But if you hit it like this, the sound comes out of the bottom. So in these, that's important. So I hold it between my knees. There's stands and stuff you can buy for this too. So there's some of the drumsticks and things you might need for your drum kit. All right. Again, don't go overboard when you're first starting out. Buy a cheap set, practice, beat the crap out of it. If that's how you play, learn things on it. Different heads. You can change the heads on your drums. I've done that. That's easy enough. When you tune your drum, you want to go across like this. And they always come with little tuners. It looks like a little T. Anyways, you want to go bottom, top, and then bottom, top, bottom, top. That's how you want to tune it that way so you don't get any waves in, okay? I was taught that years ago when I first started drumming. A lot of times you can buy the cymbals in packs. You can buy your hi-hats and your crash and a ride all together. I did that for years. In fact, most of these came out of one big set that I don't sell anymore, but I love the sound of them. I've replaced pieces here and there as you find different ones you like. So that's just to your fancy, all right? Kick pedals a lot of times are separate. A lot of times you'll find out that cymbal stands are not sold with the cymbals. You have to buy those separately. However, snare stands, I think, usually come with a kit. It just depends where you get it. So, there we go. All right, there's some more drumming tips for you for starting your own drum sets. Next time we'll try to get in some more drumming techniques, all right? And I'm going to take you guys on out here with a little music. Salmon's Just Podcast, copyright 2022. Thanks for tuning in.